Well, it looks like Me Too and Time's Up has a new person they're going after right now. And shock to your surprise, it's a white guy this time. And I'm gonna be quite honest, I don't think I've ever heard of the guy before, but then when I looked at a film that he was attached to, I said, okay, I've heard of the film. But this man's name is Max Landis, and the film that he's attached to that I'm familiar with is called Chronicle. It's a movie that came out in 2012, and Michael B. Jordan was in the film. It's basically about these three guys that went to this, who were like, I guess you can say they liked filming things, and then they went to this underground cave and they got exposed to this, I think it was a comet or something that came down from space, and they got exposed to it, and then it gave them these superhuman powers. It was a really good movie. If you haven't checked it out, you should be do that as soon as possible. But anyway, this guy Max Landis, according to various articles and sources going around, it says 8 women accuse him of psychological sexual abuse. And it says that these accusations span back a decade. So this is coming out in 2019, which means it goes back to 2009. This man was probably doing stuff on and off the set for all these years, and notice that they did not say anything until now, or all of this stuff isn't coming to light until now. And what's so crazy too is what also happened in 2009 with the most recent person I talked about, which was Cuba Gooding Jr., was the whole thing with him allegedly groping this woman inside of a club. Because according to my subscribers, they told me in Lisa's video that the recording from that also happened in 2009, but they're just not talking about it in 2019. For all we know, this guy probably did do it. You know what? Has anyone ever watched that show Catfish? Doesn't he look like Neve? For those of you who watch Catfish, basically it was a show about these two guys went around and they talked to people who said that they wanted to meet, I guess, their secret admirer or someone that they met online, and it turns out that it's most likely not them. In some cases, they were lucked up and that was the actual person, but in a lot of cases, it wasn't. I remember when I was in college, a lot of the people who I went there with, we used to always watch that show every week, and we would always get a good laugh out of the reveals. But let me go ahead and read this article. Screenwriter and director Max Landis is being accused of sexual abuse and emotional torture, as 8 women have gone public with their allegations. The women claim the son of legendary director John Landis has a pattern of manipulative and vicious behavior. Now, I am familiar with John Landis. If you don't know who John Landis is, he was a very famous director back in, I would say, like the 70s and 80s. One of the most notable things two of the most notable things he's ever done was this movie called I think it was called Werewolf in London. I think that's what the name of the movie was called. But he also was real famous for doing the Thriller video for Michael Jackson and also the Black or White video for Michael Jackson. I think he might have worked on another project with Michael, but I'm not sure. But those two stick out to me like a sore thumb. Many of the accusers claim he got violent and even raped them during their relationships. The allegations come on the heels of one of the women, Annie Baker, taking to Twitter to warn other women about Landis, saying the experience aftermath of this person is really destructive and it will be riddled with pain and emotional work that you don't need to spend your precious energy on. Baker's claims once after they had sex, she playfully slapped Landis' butt and he responded by violently putting his hands around her throat and threatening to kill her. While Baker may have opened the floodgates with her post, she's hardly the first woman to accuse Landis of abuse. He was widely accused of misconduct on social media back in 2017 when the Will Smith movie Bright was released, which was written by Landis. Now, I have, of course, heard of that movie as well. That was a movie starring Will Smith that was on Netflix. Actress Anna O'Connor wrote, written by a psychopath who sexually abused and assaults women, right? Cool. The women claim Landis' MO is to use a circle of friends, which he dubbed the Colored Society, to entice women to get close to him, then torment them through a series of insults, intimidation, humiliation, and in some cases, sexual violence. One woman described him as a cult leader. Another accuser in the Daily Beast exposed claims Landis would pretend to hit her, then laugh when she flinched. Another claims he fat shamed her, while another described him this way: he would systematically try to have sex with all the women I knew were not people to him. Landis is also accused of forcing abuse and humiliation porn on a woman, and the worst of it, forcefully holding down a woman and raping her despite her saying no repeatedly. We reached out to Landis, no word back. He has yet to comment about any of the allegations. All I'm going to say is this. They may be allegations and accusations, but they better put him through the ringer like they have done every other black man since this whole Me Too thing's kicked off. They better do the same thing to him that they've done to Bill Cosby. They better do the same thing that they have done to, now you can say, Cuba Gooding Jr. and a host of others that I can't even come to name at the moment. And I'm going to do them like they say about Bill Cosby. There's no way all these women could be lying. Because when it came to Bill Cosby, they just were convinced that all those women were telling the truth, that not one of them was lying their ass off. And this guy doesn't even have that many accusers, so his could actually be fairly believable. He only has 8 that we know of so far. And sometimes you can just look at somebody and tell that they're a creep. Some of them you can't really tell right off the bat, but some of them just give off that creepy vibe. He's definitely one of those people. But I don't know whether it is or whether it is not true. But like I said, they better put him through the Me Too meat wagon like they do, well, how they do us. Because I can't say everybody else, because Harvey Weinstein is just kind of wobbling on by, as you saw with the last update we got with him, and a host of others. And on top of that, look at who his dad is. His dad is a world-renowned director. So he's legacy. He's going to probably try to harp off of that, which would be messed up when you think about it, because his dad has nothing to do with it. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.